it will put a dent in it. Now, I'm not recommending this. I'm trying to give you all a stopgap measure, because I don't want to mess up your workflow. And then you won't have anything. You'll be like, well, I don't want to even touch these things anymore. I had one customer, what he did is he had prints of old family photos he inherited, so he would do a quick copy of one of it, and then he would put the copy next to it in the photo album, and on the copy he would actually write the names on the faces. On the copy. All right? So I wanted to ask the group, I always like to survey because we all can learn something from each other. What archival quality products do you use to store your originals? Any hands? Yes.
I bought boxes from Exposure, and they have envelopes, and they claim to be archival. And you put the photos in an envelope, and you can label what's in them. And it stores quite a lot each box.
So you have boxes which are basically organizing vehicles that actually have, the boxes are archival quality, the envelopes are archival quality, and you've been storing your photos in there. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I mean, they claim it is. We hope. We have to have faith that they're telling us the truth. And we do pay a premium for it. How do you prove it? I don't know. Maybe someone does know, but she's doing the right thing.
Here's a question I got.
And I wanted to say real quick, in the back, we also have a bunch of catalogs by a company called Gaylord, and they do archival quality materials. And you can purchase from there. Yes, ma'am.
So one of the ways is through scrapbooks. When you take the old pictures out and you re-put them in a scrapbook, so you've got these scrapbooking people, and they say it's all archival safe.
Yeah.
Which brings a question about your adhesives, because you've got to stick them down some way. And is there any adhesive that is archival safe? Because scrapbooking is a big way that other people preserve stuff.
I will tell you, regarding the scrapbooks and using adhesives to get the pictures onto the various pages. There is no adhesive that could be archival because it sticks. It bonds. But this is where I tell everyone, there's a middle ground you can take. Scan or make high quality prints of the pictures that you want to put adhesive on, not the originals. Put the originals away. Do not even display the originals. You don't need to, because now you can go to Walgreens or whatever, and you can make a decent photographic copy, and you can stick that in the album. But I do not recommend that at all. And in fact, there are a lot of photo albums that have little sleeves, and you can stick the prints in the sleeves. Now that is not as elegant as a scrapbook, okay? But that's my recommendation. There's no reason why you need to be putting glue on your originals, but you can make high quality copies. So I would like to ask, has anyone done anything with your originals that you regretted? Like had a nightmare story like to share with the class?
When my father died, my mother brought out all kinds of albums, and she had done everything on your do not list. And so there were rubber cement that had come through faces, and when you went to try to get them up, they would tear. And we have like a hodgepodge of just little pieces of people's faces. So I didn't do it, but it doesn't matter, because I probably would have if I had been her. Just at the time nobody told you this stuff, and she really regrets it. She's 87, and she walks around with these little pictures of things she wants to show me that are going away for her.
Yeah, and her motivation and her intent was really good. Unfortunately, she didn't understand, and that's why people like myself, or like what I'm trying to do, is get the information out so that this type of thing doesn't continue. And it's hard to do, but I figure, well, with 80-something videos on YouTube about it, hopefully someone will find something and spread it and tell someone else about it. Did we have any other stories? I saw some hands back there.
Just simple putting them in the basement.
Putting them in the basement. Yeah. Now, the basement is underground, right? And the ground generally is moist. So the moisture will come through. It has to come through. It's water. It's seeking to spread. And there's another place, the opposite of the basement is the attic. Okay? Generally, neither of these places have good climate control. Unless you keep a dehumidifier and whatnot, you can control the humidity in the basement. If you have your attic climate controlled, you can control it there. But then you have a chance of flooding. Okay? Of course, you can still have a rainstorm or a lightning strike or a tree fall through on the first floor, and things get damaged. We'll get into that for in a second. So, I get to the digitizing aspect of this discussion, and we want, there's still a little bit of trepidation in getting into the digital realm with your photos. And the question is often asked, well, can my scans of my photos, or these digital photos I take with my camera, can these be archival quality images? And there's a couple issues that I always say, well, yes and no. And one thing is, when you're scanning, what is the quality of the scanner? What kind of scanner are you getting? All right. Do you know how to use the scanner properly? What file formats are you saving it as? See, the quality of your digital images is based on these things. Okay? So if you say, well, I don't know, I just scan it. Well, see, that's dangerous. So we want to try to change that so that you can know what you're doing. I say that whenever you save or scan your documents and your photos, you should save it in the native format of the software. If it was Photoshop, it would be Photoshop format. Or you can save in the TIFF format, TIF. Or you can save as BMP, which is known as bitmap, which is common on a PC. And then there's the JPEG. Now, the JPEG is not a good format in which to save your images. Does anyone know why? It's tiny? Not quite. You can make a big JPEG.
Every time that you open it, then it changes the image, the quality of the image or something like that.
Right, and that's spoken from a student of mine, and she's very well versed by now. So she's saying that basically with a JPEG, the problem with the JPEG is it compresses. The JPEG format is made to send pictures. It was invented many years ago to send photographs through the wire services to all the newspapers, news agencies. So it compresses the image content, the data, and what happens is you lose quality of color and gradation, and when you resave it after working on it, it compresses it again. And then you work on it and close it. You close it, open it, work on it, resave it, close it. Every time you do that, it compresses the quality even more. So what happens is you have less and less information, less and less detail, and it starts looking gummy and blocky. I don't know if you ever noticed that about certain photographs that people email to you. They look kind of blocky, like blocks are in there. It gets worse every time you save it. So the question is, well, Eric, I just scanned or I just shot 1,000 images with the JPEG format. What do? I can't redo it. Well, here's the workaround. You can resave them as TIFFs or leave them as JPEG, that's fine. Just remember though, if you want to work on them, save them as a TIFF or a different format. Because otherwise it will compress them again and it will reduce the quality. So JPEG, try to stay away from it for your family photos. We have to remember that how we handle the photo, when you get that photo from a relative or you find a photo and you